Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable.
I'm unbeatable. Couple minutes no score. Every time they wanna clash, the winners kicking through the door. I am unbeatable. Chances running out of start, and we're running out the clock. I fail once, never stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah.
Hello and welcome to Sheffield on a historic day in the British Basketball League. For the second time in 4 days, we have a brand new arena to unveil as Sheffield Sharks christen their new home, the Cannon Medical Arena. This £14 million venue is the realisation of a decade of work by the Sharks to give themselves a permanent home. A new era for Sheffield basketball starts here today, and just as was the case for their first ever British Basketball League game 30 years ago, Newcastle Eagles are the opponents. Well, it is an exciting day. Daniel Ratledge and Azania Stewart with you. Azania, a landmark day for the Sheffield Sharks.
Yeah, this is the second time these teams are playing. You know, they opened the British Basketball League just 3 weeks ago. But Sheffield lost that game, so no doubt they're going to want to get their own back and christen their new arena.
They certainly will. Let's take a look at the starting fives for today's game, starting with the Sheffield Sharks. And they go with Bennett Cook at centre. They've been mix and matching him and Adekoya at that spot. But no doubt about it, most of their offense comes from the backcourt. Ramsey and Pipkins, the two key guys as far as Sheffield are concerned. At the other end of the floor, well, their backcourt, the Newcastle Eagles have been spearheaded by Jordan Johnson, who's been excellent on his return to the British Basketball League. But you can't forget about Taj Green as well. He's a highlight waiting to happen. They have a lot of fire, the Newcastle Eagles. Azania, a couple of guys you wanted to point out at the beginning. Jalen Pipkins has really hit the ground running this season.
Yeah, Pipkins is a scoring machine for me. Actually is on 88 total points in the league under Maceo Jack from Cheshire with 101. So he knows how to score the basketball. He's going to be needed to be aggressive to start this game and potentially get their first win in the new arena.
Speaking of bucket getters, speaking of guys who are aggressive, other end of the floor, Jordan Johnson has been sensational.
Yeah, Jordan Johnson knows how to get it done and is also his own scoring machine. He sits in third with 80 points total scoring. This is going to be a great battle between these two, and you know, he sits at 50% from the floor.
Well, it promises to be an exciting encounter. It starts very soon. We'll be right back after this break.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, you're reachable. Lost the heights, achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable.
I am unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of start, and we're running out the clock. I fail once, never stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
Slow in the corner for the win. Can you believe it?
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie. Oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. Let's see this in 2 decades.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are British basketball.
Football League teams have faced over the years have been venues, and then suddenly we've got two in a week to join Newcastle, who of course opened theirs a few years ago. Leicester, the Morningside Arena, is about 7 years old now, and it is the future of the game. And for Mark Stutl, obviously a busy week for him. They were in Lithuania in midweek. They played Leicester at home on Friday, and now they come down to Sheffield.
Yeah, this is a lot, and this is what the difference is now. When you're playing in Europe, being able to bounce back. Both these teams lost their last game. Newcastle lost, like you said, the Riders 85-92. Can they bounce back and get this win? But it's going to be a lot of minutes in the legs. I think he's going to have to go deep into his bench. There you see Defoe chewing his chewing gum real hard. I'm glad to see he's back because he injured himself in pre-season.
Yeah, he's just working his way back into the lineup, Darius Defoe, but a veteran of 20 years. I'm sure he will contribute significantly when he is out on court, and you can see just about every seat currently taken. A few people still pouring in here at the Cannon Medical Arena. And for the Sheffield Sharks, this is their moment to shine. And obviously, we talked about Newcastle's new arena. Newcastle actually debuted their arena against Plymouth and lost that game. Sheffield will want to make sure they follow Leicester and Caledonia and win in the new building on the first day.
For sure. You know, there might be a bit of nerves, but you no doubt want to come out in front of your hometown and your home court and your fans. But, you know, they lost also Sheffield versus Bristol just on Friday, 65-67, which was a close game. They've also got a lot of minutes in their legs. They sit 2 and 3, and no doubt they want to bounce back. But Pipkins and Ramsey are the engine for Sheffield Sharks.
Well, obviously, given the opening of the building today, this is their first home game of the season, so that 2 and 3 is from all 5 road games. But now they get the chance for the first time ever. The ball goes up here at the Cannon Medical Arena, and it's tipped all the way out of bounds by Taj Green. So it will be Sheffield who fittingly get the opening possession in their new court.
From the end line.
Ramsey will come over to receive.
Pipkins works to get open.
Back to Cook.
Ramsey.
Cook fighting for position. Looking to go to work. Trying to use his strength, and he travelled with it.
Great defense,
yeah. He put the ball in the basket, but it won't count as the first score in this venue. First official score. They obviously did play a behind closed doors friendly, at the point at which it had just about been finished, just testing out the wood and the baskets. But it is Newcastle who have the chance to get the first score. Johnson driving to the rim, kicks out to Green. Whitfield onto Johnson, room for the 3. That is short. Ramsey pushing hard, foul is called, basket is good, and there is the first score at the Cannon Medical Arena, and the fans enjoying that it was the Sheffield player who scored it.
Well, that's always a nice feeling, right? Not only to score the first bucket in your new arena, but also an and one, and he's going to head to the line. We haven't spoken about Ramsey. Ramsey has been the 1-2 punch with Pipkins. He started off the season very hot.
Well, as Zania touched on at the top of the show, these two teams met on the opening day of the season, their first game up at Virtue Motors. Sheffield led early, but Newcastle led at the end, which is the most important bit. Delpesh fires up. Ramsey. Pipkins looking for something to happen. Nothing really doing. Bit static, that offense from the Sharks, and Taj Green with the easy rebound.
Yeah, that's a great point. No movement.
Nice move from Austin, but he can't quite get it to drop. Here's Johnson from behind the arc. Oh, that nearly banked in. Newcastle yet to find their rhythm here in the first couple of minutes. Pipkins. Over to Nichols. And Sheffield do, when they start Cook, they do look to feed the big man early on. He's got very good footwork, and he did his work early there. Get great position. Delpesh had to foul him.
Yeah, great position, and you know I love the post play. Delpesh versus Cook, that's going to be a great battle. But Cook, you're right, he worked early, got low, and made Delpesh have to foul him.
Well, we haven't got the Delpesh derby, unfortunately. Just one Delpesh on show today. That is Malcolm of the Newcastle Eagles. Marcus out at the moment for Sheffield. Here's Whitfield firing up for three, back iron. Nichols, well, not quite sure what happened to the ball there, just slipped through the hands of Kipper Nichols.
Yeah, and both of these teams looking a bit, you know, I don't want to say rusty, maybe nerves or, you know, just kind of out of rhythm, and I think that shows it right there, just a mishap. But, you know, they'll settle into the game, but, you know, it's the way it starts. Get yourself going, feel good, especially for Newcastle, see the ball go in, and then we'll start to see a good game.
Oh, Eagles still looking for their first score. 2.5 minutes gone. Here's Delpesh, gets his own rebound, trying to fight for space, and still won't go. Sheffield coming away with it. Ramsey has it. Again, look at the positioning that Cook has got. And they probably forced it because he was in a good spot. Larry Austin doing what he does best. Getting the ball off a steal into open court. And out of bounds. You see that in play pretty much every game. Whitfield with that back foot. Mark Studel, well, he'd have expected to see his team score inside the first 3 minutes, but not to be. Fortunately for them, they're only 3-0 down. Ramsey to the rolling Cook, who's fouled by Delpesh, and that will be the second personal foul on Delpesh.
And that's very tough, especially when you pick up that second foul. You've got to, you know, Mark Studel's got to go to his bench. But that's a tough ask. Like I said, that battle between the two is going to be pretty tough, but Cook has won it, and Delpesh has to head to the bench. And Defoe, who he's played many, many years, 38. Fine wine.
I thought you were saying he'd played 38 years.
No.
It feels like it. He's been around. He's a part of the furniture at Newcastle. But it is one of the things, when they start Cook, it is one of the things they look to do, establish him early, not only because he's an excellent scorer in and around the basket, but also he does draw fouls on the opposing centre.
He draws fouls, but also he draws multiple defenders. And then what happens then? Now you can kick it out to your shooters. Now you can get second looks. But it's so important you find your big man low to start the game.
Well, he's already sent Delpesh to the bench on foul trouble. It will be a battle between he and Defoe. They've gone head-to-head for a few years now. Here's Green wide open for three off the mark, and Newcastle just cannot score right now. As I say, this is their third game of the week. That is the challenge of playing in the European North Basketball League. Here's Ramsey, a little step away, 7-0 Sharks.
Nice little jump shot for Ramsey. And Newcastle struggling to get anything going as they turn over the ball. They're sitting on that donut, Dan, for quite some time now. Who is going to put the ball in the bucket for them?
Well, Johnson probably should have shot it himself there. He wanted to throw the alley-oop to Green, but Green wasn't expecting it. And it goes out of bounds for another Sheffield possession. Ricky McGill into the game for the first time for Newcastle. Here's Ramsey. And there's Cook underneath. He loses Defoe, and once again they're going to the big man, and he's delivering.
Good move from him. And Defoe just, you know, misstepped.
4 minutes have ticked off the clock. Still a 0 on the board for the Newcastle Eagles. Can Defoe from the foul line? Yes, there we go. Go to the veteran, get him to do that trademark 16-foot jump shot.
Yeah, that is his trademark. And just what they needed. Now they're off the 0 mark, and they just need to calm down, I think. They're just rushing through a lot of their offense.
Well, they missed their first 8, and Cook thought Ramsey was going to shoot there. So he was looking to the rim to see if there was a rebound to be got, and Ramsey was passing it to him.
I really like this arena. I like how, you know, it's quite intimate, isn't it? And not a bad seat in the gym.
Well, that is one of the things, isn't it, as you go bigger, to try and create the atmosphere. And they certainly seem to have done that. And there we go. Newcastle now moving Whitfield in the corner for 3.
That's Whitfield.
His feet are set. He's good from that spot.
Nice pass. There's Cook again. And Benny Cook having himself a field day here. 6 points already.
Cook is cooking.
So many times when he does start, he's their leading scorer in the first quarter. And he's certainly doing that again here today. Austin, back iron, might come to him. Well, it's tipped away from him, but only to McGill. Green underneath, and oh, Green blows the layup. Very untouched Green like that. Ramsey. Bertino. Again, they go to Cook. This time he's got Green on his back. And he just steps right by him. Oh, but he misses from close range. Here we go, fast break layup, and nice and easy for Whitfield.
Yeah, quick outlet pass and a good answer from Newcastle.
Well, when you're struggling to score in the half court, if you can get some cheap ones in transition like that, it certainly helps. Bertino, back to Kipper Nichols, rims out.
Doesn't get there, Nichols.
Austin going right to the rim, blocked by Cook, but there's Green to drop it in for 2.
A good cleanup by Green. We haven't spoken about Austin Jr. That is his go-to. Yes, he got blocked, but then it gives Taj Green an option to rebound and put back in.
There's a foul there on Defoe again. Cook causing all sorts of problems in the middle. That's been the story of the opening 7 minutes here in Sheffield, where the Sharks lead the Newcastle Eagles 11 points to 9. We'll be right back after this break.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, you're reachable. Lost of heights, achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable.
I am unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out the clock. I fail once then I stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. Clock turn, watch you learn. How many years been working for my flying over.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
Welcome back to Sheffield, where Bennett Cook has dominated the opening stages here. Not only has he got 6 points on the board, but he's racking up the fouls on his opponents as well as Ania.
Yeah, Delpeche had 2, had to head to the bench, and then Defoe picked up another one. So he's heading to the bench now to rest up because those 6 points, he's been strong under the basket.
Well, it's Adekoya that's given him a breather. We've seen Jabril Adekoya start some games for Sheffield this season. Obviously joined from Leicester in the summer. Michael Rock moves it on. Stewart in the corner can't knock down the shot, but Sheffield get the ball back, and Rotino says thank you very much. Here's McGill. Defoe fakes the handoff, kicks it back now to Austin. Neighbor with the inside position, and the foul is called on Rotino. Oh, Taj Green looking like he might be stretching a little bit there, whether it's a back or cards. I know he had some issues early in the season with cramping, and obviously, as we've touched on, third game of the week for Newcastle.
Yeah, and I just think looking after yourself, as that still happens, you know, you've got to hydrate, you've got to eat well.
And Rotino, the one thing that us mere mortals don't get, but obviously you experienced it with the Lions last year, is we just see the games on a Wednesday, on a Friday, on a Sunday. We don't see the planes, the trains, and the automobiles to get you there.
And I think that's so important. You do see the end product, but there's so much that goes into it. You know, scouting, having to travel, film, and then getting minimal time on the floor to practice. As Josh Ward-Hibbett shoots the ball, but yeah, there's just so much going into it. But you have to look after your body, making sure you rest, you ice, you stretch, and you eat well.
That's the challenge of the modern basketball player traversing Europe. And Sheffield, well, they don't mind if Newcastle are having issues with it. They'll just continue to pile on the pain here in the first quarter.
Johnson.
McGill dropping it down to Defoe, rolling to the basket. And nice and easy.
Yeah. Nice Defoe. I'm happy to see him back. He slipped on some perspiration, on the floor, and just rolled his ankle a couple weeks ago. So that's a big part of Newcastle's team.
Adekoya looking to back down Neighbor, has it knocked away, but Michael Rock keeps it alive. Adekoya at the top of the key, back iron.
Will Neighbor with the rebound.
Johnson looking for room along the baseline, and well, it's not Hillsborough or Bramall Lane. You can't use your feet like that in these parts. And Darius Defoe, we talked about his absence through injury in the early part of the season. We've already seen the value he brings on the court, never mind the leadership and experience that he has.
Yeah, 100%. And I just think he will need a couple of games to get himself back into game shape as a foul happens. But Sheffield doing a wonderful job, especially slowing down Jordan Johnson. You know, they're bringing two defenders to stop him. He is a scoring machine. They're doing well on the defensive end.
Well, some debate as to whether it's two shots here. Sheffield certainly don't think it is. They're obviously not over the limit, so it's not a team foul situation. It's just, did he pick the ball up to go into his shooting motion, or is it an inline ball?
Well, the referees, like you said, are the third team on the floor. Hey, we're the fourth team.
Fourth team, yeah.
We're an important team.
Well, the ball getting put down because Newcastle aren't ready to inbound, but they still get it in within the allotted 5. Tough shot from Ward-Hibbett on the fadeaway. 45 seconds left in the opening quarter. Allen back to Rotino. Kicked out. Eichel Rock has been playing really well in his first few games with Sheffield, and he draws the foul there. Again, just good, patient play from Eichel Rock.
Yeah, patient and poise. as the time was running down. Here it is, Eitel Rock, you're right. Look at that, takes his time, may have shuffled his feet a little bit, but gets the foul. He had 12 points last game versus Bristol, was solid in that. Unfortunately, they lost, but, you know, 12 points coming off the bench is a big part of this Sharks team.
Was, again, a big contributor in the game against Plymouth as well. He's been averaging 8.5 points a game in 15 minutes off the bench, and that's good production. Well, it should be one offense each left in this opening quarter, a quarter that Sheffield have had the better of. McGill back to Johnson. Shot clock getting low as Johnson runs in, wants a foul, doesn't get one. Here comes Sheffield. Plenty of time here, they don't have to go quick. Allen does go quick. He scores, but that gives Newcastle a chance to come back the other way. McGill fires up on the buzzer, and he misses everything. Well, it's the first day in a new building, and it's going very well for the Sheffield Sharks. They lead 20 points to 11. We'll be right back after this break.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, just reachable. Look so high, it's achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable.
Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out the clock. I feel what's gonna stop. I am unbeatable, I am unbeatable.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
In the corner for the win! Can you believe it?
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie, oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. I've seen this in 2 decades.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are British basketball.
Well, welcome back to Sheffield. 1994, their first ever home game. Those fans saw a win. 2004, their first home game at Ponds Forge, a win. 2006, their first home game at EIS, a win against Newcastle, and they're trying to make it 4 for 4 in what is now their new permanent home. Allen kicks it back to a trailing Adekoya. He steps into a 3. He has got that range. You've got to keep him honest. Can't give him an open shot like that.
And when you can walk straight into that three-point shot in rhythm, he's gonna hit that down. It's all Sheffield right now. Newcastle have to find an answer. They're not getting to the free throw line. They're not being aggressive. And Sheffield are feeling good.
Well, 22% from the floor as well is not helping. They will get to the free throw line this time, but you're looking at the scoreboard, and the problem really for Newcastle is the 11 rather than the 23. They just haven't put the ball in the basket often enough. Well, it is a very busy Sunday in the British Basketball League. London Lions taking on the Manchester Giants. You can see that one at 4:30 on the British Basketball YouTube channel. And then Azania and I will be back for the Southwest Derby, second of the season. Plymouth City Patriots against the Bristol Flyers 6 p.m. Make sure you keep across all of that. You might need a second device, but keep the volume on us, I think is the rule, isn't it?
Yes. And maybe a few snacks and a bite to eat as well.
Well, don't forget to subscribe and like. Subscription keeps you on top of all of the action. Never miss a game in the British Basketball League here.
Into the corner. Stewart.
Good ball movement. Stewart for 3, and Sheffield lead by 15.
Real sniper. Stewart, he is not related to me, but causes a time out. Absolutely dagger in Newcastle's heart. They are struggling. Mark has to call a timeout to stop the bleeding.
We saw him hit a 3-point shot and instantly thought of you as Amy. Is that what it is?
You know, I've never scored a 3-point shot in my life. I shot, I'm 0 from 5, and those 5 came in my last season with London Lions.
Well, I still think you've got one more year in you as Amy.
No, I
It's come
don't.
out of
No, I don't.
retirement for that. Sheffield, well, Atiba Lions will be delighted with the situation his team find themselves. Mark Strutel with a timeout here, a minute into the second quarter, but Sheffield just doing what they do. There's nothing surprising coming from them. The problem for Mark Strutel at the other end of the floor is still the 11 points.
Yeah,
the reality is they've only put the ball in the basket 5 times. They've shot 22.
Yeah, they're struggling, but remember, the first game is this walk into the 3-point shot. The first game of the season, actually, Sheffield Sharks were winning. They were playing well. They had the momentum. Then bang, here come Newcastle, and they actually edged away and won that game. So Sheffield cannot relax. They've got to keep their foot down. And as you see, Mark Shooter, he is, you know, he's very animated. He's got his teams going. We saw him eye to eye with one of the referees before the end of the quarter. He means business, and his team can come back, but Sheffield are going to make it real hard for them, especially on their new floor.
I think that's a good point, Azania. That first game that Sheffield played against Newcastle, after Newcastle had the first 2 minutes or so, Sheffield bossed the first half, really. I felt they should have been further ahead. They've now got the sort of double-figure cushion that they would crave, but can they maintain it all the way to halftime? Here's Jordan Johnson for the Newcastle Eagles, trying to avoid 3 defeats in the week. Defeated in slightly controversial circumstances in Lithuania on Wednesday night. A rather erroneous 3-second violation called against them on the final play, which the ENBL League came out and said was the wrong call the next day. But they were beaten by Shauli by 2, when perhaps that game should have at least been going to overtime. And McGill just running into a dead end, and one referee overruling the other. It's going to be a Newcastle possession. Steve Ellis on the far side had the better angle to see that.
It's a good job by the referees working together, but still Newcastle struggling in their offense.
Well, they haven't got time for that. Yeah. Coach Strutel called the play. Seemed to take their time a little bit, like they did. Oh my goodness! What a block from Green. There's a clash of heads there as well.
Yeah, head butted him.
They both seem okay. Johnson spinning into the key and off the glass. They needed that.
Oh, more than ever. Tough finish at the rim, but it came from Taj Green's big block on the defensive end. That's probably the easiest look that Newcastle have had. I held my breath on that block.
Here's Allen. Gets his own rebound. Second attempt is good, and he'll go to the line for a bonus as well.
And Allen, way to stick with it. Newcastle need to, here's the block first of all. Let's talk about this. Great timing.
Yeah, he was sizing it up, but as they landed, there was a bit of a clash of heads. They both seem okay. And that, we haven't really seen much of Jordan Johnson.
Nope.
That is what he does. He's so crafty. He's able to exploit gaps in the lane. But they didn't box Allen out. He can't turn it into a 3-point play, so it's still 15. Look at the second chance opportunities Newcastle have had, partly because they've missed so many shots first time around. They haven't been any more efficient on the second attempts either. Austin with some room. And again, those are shots Larry Austin makes with his eyes closed.
He does, but I got to give it to Sheffield Sharks. Look at them on the defensive end. They're moving on the string. Their feet are constantly moving. You can see their arms. They're locked in on the defensive end. That is why, you know, Austin Jr. would make that with his eyes closed, like you said, but the defense is making it so difficult for them to even have a good look at the basket.
Well, Atiba's always had his teams playing great defense over the years that he's been in charge. This year, no different at all. 15 points off the bench as well for the Sheffield Sharks, and that's 4 different scorers for 15 as well. Here's Ward Hibbert trying to get some points off the bench for Newcastle and doing exactly that.
Yeah, and splashes that one, nothing but net. Also, another needed bucket from Newcastle.
Well, Atiba Lions with the timeout here, 3 minutes into the second quarter. My suspicion here is that that one shot has made him go, hang on a minute, going back to that first game, we don't want to give them any sort of momentum. We saw Johnson a minute ago in the key. We gave Austin a shot that he probably should have scored. Ward Hibbert is open. We just need to tighten it up a little bit here and extend this lead.
Yeah, some people, you know, go back and forth about a timeout here. Do you let your team bounce back and be able to react and adjust? Or, hey, I've seen enough. Let's talk about it like he is. He's so intense, probably drawing up an offensive play and a defensive play. But Josh Ward Hibbert, you know, came from the London Lions, known for his defense, but overall the last couple of games has been locked in on the offensive end, and Newcastle needed that shot.
Known for his serve, Josh Ward Hibbert.
He is. He's a tennis player as well, isn't he?
Yeah, very successful junior tennis player before switching to basketball.
And
well,
also
he played basketball
yeah.
all the way through, but
He did.
taking on basketball full-time as opposed to tennis.
And he's a fashion icon. Me and him have battled back and forth with our looks. He loves, you know, to look good as well as play well and serve well. So a great guy on and off the court, actually. I've spoken a lot with Josh Ward Hibbert. Fantastic guy, and I'm happy for him not only to, you know, come to Newcastle, but to come into his own as a player and start to score. That shot's going to make him feel real good.
Well, it says something about his qualities that his 3 teams in the British Basketball League are the Leicester Riders, the London Lions, and the Newcastle Eagles.
Yes.
It's a pretty good CV. Here's Pipkins into the key, floats one up and in for 2.
Yeah, that's nice. Pipkins doing Pipkins things.
He tends to let the game come to him as well. I'm sure if it's close in the fourth quarter, we'll see a lot more of the ball in his hands. Ward Hibbert trying for another 3. Ramsey calling the play. Pipkins cross court. Space for Ramsey, puts it on the floor. And that touched Ward Hibbert on the way out, so that'll stay with the Sheffield Sharks. Here's Pipkins. Had it slapped away illegally so by Will Neighbour. Can't quite believe it, but certainly from our angle that looked like a foul.
Yeah, and he's going to have a little chat with the referee. She had a good look here, and we get a second look also. Let's have a look. Just that little flick on the arm. I know Mrs. Neighbour's not going to be happy with that.
No.
Yeah, 2 years ago, Will Neighbour played at London Lions, and I'd never spoken to him before, and he came up to me and he said, hey, I just want to say, my mother says thank you so much for the lovely comments that you make about me on air. So I always love to give Mrs. Neighbour a shout out, because she's either at the arena supporting him, or she's always locked in and loaded on the YouTube channel. So Mrs. Neighbour, love you always.
And now you can't say anything against him if he makes a mistake. His mum will be on to you.
She will.
Here's Ward Hibbert. Hands off to Green. Green gets his man up in the air, fires up the three, a little bit short. Cook with a little sneaky bump, but not sneaky enough to get past referee Ellis, and the foul called against him.
That's his
First personal foul on Bennett Cook. Well, that's not an easy pass to get to neighbor from that angle. The shot clock is erroneously ticking, so the referee Kate Unsworth will have to go to the table and say, you need to put a few seconds back on there for Newcastle.
8. Okay, we'll do with 8. They're all over it.
Basically, the ball was deflected out of bounds, but nobody stopped the shot clock. So they've added those seconds back as Green drives in. Didn't matter either way because they didn't really get a clean shot off Newcastle. There's a lot of rebounds at the Newcastle end of the floor, and Sheffield have grabbed 15 defensive ones. Nichols couldn't quite hang on to it. Here's Austin in the open court. Drops it off. That, I mean, it's just very on Newcastle. Like, you've got Larry Austin, who's one of the best in the British Basketball League the last couple of years, going north-south. You've got Taj Green trailing with him, who's one of the best finishers.
Yep.
They don't even get a shot away.
They don't, but like I said, the Sharks defense, they ran, they were in a full sprint back on the defensive end. Look at this. You're right, this is easy money, but he decides to pass it off, and then a mishap of a catch. But look, the defenders are back, 4 defenders for the Sharks, and maybe a little bit of frustration from Taj Green. But wonderful job, excuse me, from the Sharks.
Well, he goes to the bench after that foul. Ramsey for 3, back iron. Bodies everywhere. It's Neighbor who gets to the ball. He needs a little help here. Austin calling for the screen, but good hands to knock it away from Pipkins, who will run it back and drop it in for 2.
Pipkins working hard.
4:29 on the clock. Sheffield dominating here. 32-16. We'll be right back after this break.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, just reachable. Lost of heights achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable.
I am unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out the clock. I fail once they stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. Clock's turn, watch and learn. How many years been working for my flying over.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when a ball drops. My man.
Welcome back to Sheffield, where the Sharks fans are enjoying life in their new home venue, and so too is Atiba Lions. His team up 34-16. Azania, Newcastle only 16 points in 16 minutes.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see the Newcastle week of basketball. On Wednesday, they were away in Lithuania. Friday, you know, at home versus the Riders, and then now tonight. And you're just seeing as Will Neighbours shoots that ball. I really do think travel, minutes, they don't look like their normal self. It is so tough to play 3 games in a week, and we're starting to see the effects of that.
Well, Sheffield won't care. They've got their foot on the throat. They'll want to accelerate away here. Here's Ramsey trying to make it a 20-point game, and he does.
From Ramsey, you know that's his go-to. Gets into his rhythm and shoots an easy jumper.
Austin taking it to the basket. There we go. That's a bit more Larry Austin-like.
And we're going to have to see a lot of that if they want to chip away. You know, now at 18-point game, he's going to have to take this team on his back and start to really get going.
Well, they just have to get it down somewhere near 10 before halftime, and they won't do it doing that. Losing Bennett Cook.
Ooh, that was pretty. Right through the defenders.
On the button, lays it up for 2.
Neighbour for 3 off the mark.
And a rebound by Ramsey.
Here's Cook putting it on the floor this time, driving to the basket. A little slap down from McGill. That might be the call.
And Cook really causing all the post players problems. Del Pesh picked up too early in the first, then gave it to Defoe, and now Will Neighbours going to have to head to the bench with another foul. He is putting in a shift this afternoon.
Well, actually, Neighbour heads to the bench and sits down, and Cook will shoot 2, and no lineup, but that's because Newcastle are having a little team talk as they try and sort things out here.
Yeah, well, that's Defoe for you. He's such a veteran, and they need that chat. And it's so important, actually. There are moments throughout the game where you just have a few split seconds where you can huddle, usually at free throws, and say, boys, lads, let's get it together. We're way better than this. And those moments are so important to really build momentum and you know, get themselves going.
Well, Bennett Cook will get a well-deserved round of applause as he sits down. He's been impactful in this game, not only in the points that he scored, but he's also drawn 4 fouls as well.
Yeah, played 11 minutes with 8 points.
Johnson around the screen. Fires it up. A little hesitation there. I always think if you don't shoot the first one, you're less likely to make the second. Here's Nichols looking for room. Pipkin's wide open.
Good look, good offense for Sheffield. But look, see what I mean? They've got 4 guys on the defensive end getting back, feet in the paint.
Well, you know, when a team puts a team out, they're going to defend well. I mean, historically, we talked about the game against, it was technically Sunderland, but it's the Newcastle Eagles franchise back in 1994 when Sheffield first came into the league. And Sheffield won the league. I think they were the lowest scoring team in the league that year. They won it on defense with the likes of Chris Finch and Todd Cawthorne and Roger Huggins, and that was their MO, right? It's in their DNA to be a very strong defensive team, and it follows through from the years where Chris Finch was the head coach and now through to Atiba Lyons. It fits with the mold of Sheffield, to be fair. The Steel City, they would expect their team to be like that. And certainly 40 points to 18. They've certainly put on the defensive clamp here so far. As I say, it's been a busy few days in the British Basketball League. We had one new venue christened on Thursday night. The Caledonia Gladiators winning their first game at the Placeboard Arena 86-79 against Surrey Scorchers. A very Bristol versus Sheffield at the Wise score there. Bristol topping that one by 267-65. Leicester on the road, we mentioned, beating Newcastle 92-85, and heartbreak for Surrey once again at the SSP. They had a shot to tie that one virtually on the buzzer, and it came back off the back of the iron, and they lose to Cheshire Phoenix 101-103 without Rye as well. Great win for Ben Thomas and his team on the road. And don't forget, we will well, first of all, we'll have highlights of that at halftime, but we'll also got more action coming up later today. 2 more games going on a busy Sunday.
Yep, Sunday roast feast, I would like to call that. 3 games in one day. You are getting everything here on the YouTube British Basketball League channel.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a second of the action. Give us a like as well while you're there.
Why not?
End-line ball to the Newcastle Eagles. Still south of 20 on the scoreboard with 1:43 to go to halftime.
Rebound pulled down by Allen. Here come the Sharks again. Where's the noise?
Allen back to Ramsey. Working the pick and roll, kicks it out to Retino. A little too much zip on that. Jabril Adekoya has great hands, but you need to throw the ball to them rather than making him dive out for that. Oh, quick outlet. Green down court, and he will jam it in.
We are always in need of a Taj Green highlight, and hopefully now he can get himself going. But, you know, that's what Newcastle needs, that quick defense and then into an easy offense.
Well, for once, Sheffield didn't get back, did they? As Green is going to get called for the foul.
Oh, here is the highlight. Look at this. Green didn't even know himself. Maybe a foul also, and just rocks the rim.
Well, plenty for Coach Stuttel to ponder here. A minute away from his halftime team talk and potentially going in 20 down. And it's one of those things as a coach, you sort of juggle with lineups, you try and find something that works, but at the end of the day, you get 21 points on the board in the first half on the road. It's a tough ask.
Yeah, on the road, and then also letting Sheffield score 41, potentially 42 at this free throw. It's a lot. You've dug yourself into a huge hole, but you know that half time is going to be well needed. They're going to have to re-up, talk to each other, and come out with a new energy in the second half.
Well, a small sample size, but Sheffield are the lowest scoring team in the league so far, and they're already well past halfway to that average, but they're also the second lowest defensively, Sheffield. So if you let them get into the 80s, it's going to be difficult to beat them. Great block from Nichols. Ramsey, transition 3. Allen with the rebound. Adekoya puts it on the floor, runs into a floater and drops it in for 2.
Cool.
Well, the shot clock is still on, but Newcastle are going to try and run as much time off as they can. McGill, no way past Allen, and there's a foul on the rebound.
Sheffield, I can't speak enough. This has been all them this first half. Everywhere on the defensive end, Coach Stuttel is absolutely, you know, he is mad, and no doubt because it is all Sheffield Sharks. I've never seen them play so well, to be honest. I don't know if it's this new arena that they've got this new swag, but they're playing for each other. They're moving the ball. They're outworking Newcastle on both ends. They're doing a wonderful job going in to the second half.
Well, the issue with that foul is that Newcastle are over the limit. So it's a walk down the court to try and add 2 more points to the tally. And obviously a running clock with 5 seconds to go, you might get a stop. But instead, there's a potential for free throws. Well, Atiba Lions and the Sharks management, when they went to bed last night, couldn't have dreamed of a better first half than this, could they?
It's very true.
Full house, home team running riot.
And also, you know, this is the second time they've played each other. Like we said, they opened this season. They play each other 4 times throughout the season. So they'll see each other again, but in 3 weeks to bounce back. Obviously, there's a lot of basketball to play, and if we went off that first game, Newcastle was down and then bounced back. But right now, wonderful start to the Sharks.
Newcastle trying to get one last score. The heave on the buzzer doesn't go, and it can't be any better than that for the Sheffield Sharks. The first 20 minutes in their new arena, and they have absolutely dominated it. Atiba Lions heads off to the locker room with his team. 45-21 ahead. We'll be right back. In the corner for the win!
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, you're reachable. Lost of heights, achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable,
I am unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out the clock. I fail once then I stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, no stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
Slow in the corner for the win! Can you believe it?
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie, oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. I've seen this in 2 decades.
A new era, a fresh start, a total reset.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are British basketball.
Lewis throwing it. Oh! And there's our posterizer slapping his head top again. Legion Robertin putting a body.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that is top 10, maybe number 1.
Well, welcome back to the British Basketball League coverage. Daniel Routledge and Azania Stewart with you. And it's been a dominant first half of the Sheffield Sharks. Just what they would have wanted on opening day in their new building.
Yeah, they've played incredible on both ends, offensively and defensively, and getting to the free throw line there. Look, 12 from 14 to Newcastle's 1 at 4. They're not being aggressive. They're not getting, the job done, but then also bench points for the Sharks is 20 points off the bench, where 8 for Newcastle.
The reality is you can't win a game shooting 26% and 15% for the Newcastle Eagles. That has to go up in the second half. Well, Azania, just a moment now for us to look back at some of the highlights from that first half. And a lot of it is going to be at the Sheffield end of the floor, because it was they who were much better in rhythm, much smoother, much more like they normally are, as against Newcastle look discombobulated.
Yeah, you're right, but they were confident, and why not? You know, you're in your new arena. Here, Cook was cooking. I said it. He was dominant from the top of the game, and what I liked about it is they established him first, but then their defensive side was all over Newcastle. They couldn't get in a rhythm, and now that's why they're up 45-21. Newcastle have to get it together and come out as a new team in the second half.
And the worrying thing for Newcastle is the players that you normally expect that would lead that charge, the Larry Austins, the Jordan Johnsons, they're a combined 2 for 13, and they're not making shots that they would normally comfortably make.
Yeah, and I think that's a big block from Taj Green, but you're right about that. No one in double digits for Newcastle. They're all struggling scoring. Nobody's really stepping up. At the halftime, I just think they need to look each other in the eyes and say, listen, we need to come out better than this. This is embarrassing, you know, but I did talk about the 3 games in a week is very, very difficult. The fatigue is looking a problem.
And for Sheffield, they really now have to be careful not to get complacent here, because one thing they don't want to do is let this big 24-point lead evaporate, because they've worked so hard to build it, they'll want to sustain it. Well, we've got some more action for you. We'll have a look at Cheshire's win in Surrey in just a moment's time. But first of all, Leicester Riders travelled up to Newcastle on Friday.
Johnson, 2 feet in the paint, incredible speed, Rowe. Bowman to the left hand, tough take. Blake Bowman, the showman. Give me that, and 1. Another pump fake for him. He's got lots of room, Johnson. Oh, Taj Green, hello. Goodness me. And now here's the Leicester Riders inside. Thomas, showtime! He's sticking one down, and Taj Green saying, I could do it too. Holmes, he's going to drive by himself here. Great finish, and 1, Jaron Holmes. Mackenzie now looking for Idowu. In fact, he sees a gap and sees some room, and he was fading away and moving away from the basket. Nice save there from McGill. Hustle play, Jordan Johnson, Josh Ward-Hibbert, they need it. And the Newcastle Eagles have it. Oh, Mr. Delpish, hello, Virtu Motors Arena. Lal tips it, Blake Bowman, he just rushes that pass to Idowu. Jordan Johnson for the 3, and the lead! Oh my goodness, Newcastle Eagles! Jaron Holmes, 1-on-1 with Defoe, and swiped away by Taj Green. Now they're pushing forward, McGill! Oh, what a block! Caleb Asprey, lock and key! Jaron Holmes, nice pass inside, Thomas on the baseline, punches it with 2 hands, Myron Thomas. Down low inside to Delpesh, Larry Austin Jr. driving to the left hand, tied game. Johnson, he's trying to find the next maneuver, Taj Green slips away from him, Jaron Holmes pushing up the floor, 1-on-1, Austin Jr. and he will finish, and 1 play, that is excellent work from Jaron Holmes. It has been a wonderful game to call, but the Leicester Riders will continue their rich vein of form.
Nice pass. Oh, what a finish, and count it.
That was really clever with that inbound.
Whoa, what a pass!
What a no-look. That's what we want to see in the British Basketball League. Highlight passes.
What a pass. And count it. And again, it's that 1-2 connection. Pick and roll action. Out to White. White open for 3. Back iron. Oh, what a follow by Maceo Jack.
Wow.
Robinson, oh, nice pass. Oh, what a block! Maceo Jack out of nowhere. Rideau to the basket, puts it up and in.
Maceo Jack is just doing everything, just when his team needs it. Great block. They need to stop now, Surrey Scorchers, desperately.
They've cut it down to 10.
And there it is.
Chance for them to make it a single-digit game. Lawrence, lobbed up to
Yes!
Wang, who jams it in. Whoa, the perfect connection. Lawrence fakes it, drives inside. Wang now, three-point line. What a pass inside to Hunt. Off the glass and in. Rideau, oh, what a pass. Another great pass, he was wide open inside. And no mistakes. Rideau to inbound. Oh, he puts it in! Turnaround fadeaway jumper, Jaguar drains it. Scorchers have to go, and they have to go quick. Steele for three, knocks it down. Rideau to inbound. Ball in, and they get the steal. And Cooper to the hole, off the glass, no good. And they had their chance to tie the game. Quinn Cooper just missed the floater in the lane. And how much will he be kicking himself over that one? Second one is up, the second one's off as well, and he grabs the offensive rebound. And that will do it. What an incredible sequence to end this game.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, just reachable. Your step high is achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable,
I am unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out of clock. I fail once then I stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when a ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
Slow in the corner for the win! Oh! Can you believe it?
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie. Oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. I've seen this in 2 decades.
A new era, a fresh start, a total reset.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are British basketball.
Lewis throwing it. Oh! And there's our posterizer slapping his head top again. Legion Robertin putting a body.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that is top 10, maybe number 1.
Well, welcome back to British League coverage here. And, well, what a first half it's been for the Sheffield Sharks. Absolutely dominant. Let's remind ourselves of the scores from this week in the British Basketball League. And it started with another new venue home debut on Thursday night as Caledonia beat Surrey. Sheffield Sharks defeated in a close one against Bristol, and Leicester just pulled away from Newcastle in the last minute or two to win that one by 7. Another 2-point game on Saturday night. The Scorchers beaten at home in dramatic fashion by Cheshire, and then a couple of games coming up later. 4:30, London Lions go head-to-head with the Manchester Giants, and then Plymouth City Patriots at home against Bristol, 6 p.m. Stay with us on the British Basketball YouTube for all of that action. Well, today is all about this beautiful new venue in Sheffield, the Cannon Medical Arena, and it is a spectacular building. 3 courts, 2,500 seats, state-of-the-art medical facilities as well, Tanzania.
And then this beautiful locker room, look at that. That definitely made me say wow when I saw it earlier on. And we just spoke about, you know, the British Basketball League, how wonderful this is. More and more teams getting their own arena, their own space. Such an important deal. And if Sheffield Sharks can get this win to christen this new arena, you know, hats off to them, because they are playing very well in this first half.
And the good thing about it, it's come from lots of different places. DeVelle Ramsey here with 7 points. He shot the ball very well, 5 rebounds, 3 assists as well. But we could have clipped up Bennett Cook, we could have clipped up Jalen Pipkins, we could have clipped up Allen, we could have clipped up Stewart or Adekoya. It's come from all over the place.
Yeah, true team effort. They're playing for each other, they're moving for each other, and then every guy is staying in their lane, playing to his style, his offense. But for me, I love defense, and they are doing a fantastic job on that end.
Well, one thing I will just say is, Zane, you talked about how you like the locker rooms here at you know, the Hatters play here as well, and so you could come out of retirement for Sheffield maybe.
I didn't know that. No, I do not. Stop it. I'm retired and I'm having a great time with you here.
You got to stay with me. Yeah, you could play for the Hatters on Saturday and come and do this with me on a Sunday, Zane. I'm just saying. We're back underway, and it is the Sharks with the opening possession. I've started something on social media now. Hatters fans will have you signed before it's... Cook cannot convert inside. She's gone quiet on me now.
Oh, sorry.
Here's Austin. There we go. That's a bit more like Larry Austin and the Newcastle Eagles.
Great start from him. And like you said, that is Austin's style. Austin Jr., we need some more of that. Back-to-back buckets, please.
Important, I feel, for the Newcastle Eagles to start this second half well and just put some question marks in Sheffield's mind, but Kipper Nichols has the total opposite view as he gets the and one here.
Yeah, beautiful footwork as he uses the baseline to make his move, and he'll head to the rim, answers Austin Jr.'s bucket right back.
Second foul on McGill.
Foul number 2 on Whitfield. So Nichols for the bonus.
Goes. Well, I hope Newcastle manage. I had a slice of cake and a cup of tea at half-time, so hopefully they can rebuild their energy and ready for this second half, because if they don't answer, they will be embarrassed, and you might as well start the bus up early and head home.
Well, 2 more points for Sheffield in the paint. They shot 71% in the paint. Oh, Johnson, good finish. And he will go to the line for an and one. I was about to say Sheffield shot 71% in the paint in the first half. They were in the 30s in the game against Bristol on Friday night. That was a very different offensive output for Sheffield. But we've seen now Austin, now we've seen Johnson. Signs here for Newcastle fans that their team is starting to find their feet.
Yeah, and Johnson's so animated on that play. You can see his frustration with his team and just demanding more from them. And like you said, Austin Jr. and Johnson doing their thing. They have to step up if they want to chip away at this league.
Well, they were 1 of 7 and 1 of 6 respectively in the first half, but they've both made scores here at the start of the second. Pipkins in the corner. He's short. Johnson will chase that down. Johnson will put the accelerators on. Oh, wiped out by Bennett Cook. What a block.
Bodies flying everywhere. Ramsey got hit in the face. They're going to have to stop the gameplay. He got hit in the face by Jordan Johnson. Maybe lost the contact, maybe.
Well, Bennett Cook coming up with a highlight play
Let's have a
of their
look.
own. There it is.
Yep.
Oof. Inadvertent, but it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. And then Johnson looked like he had an easy 2 points, but here comes Cook. No, 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 not here.
Not in my house. Wonderful replay, thank you. And some sweat cleaned up off the floor as well.
Yeah, I don't know whether he might have bloodied the nose the way he walked off. Well, Coach Stutl staring on. I'm assuming he would have got into his team at half time, but he's seen a bit of a response here in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, as you should. You know, he was fuming in the first half, and rightly so.
Pipkin's just stumbling, managed to keep the ball alive. Rotino taking it in, and eventually it's going to be a foul. Bennett Cook will shoot 2. I think it was the hand of Austin that was called for the foul.
Yeah, it was. But Sheffield doing a wonderful job on these second opportunities. Look at this. The shot goes up, and then Cook working battle of strengths there against Austin Jr. And then causes another foul.
Well, number one, you can see, I mean, that stat tells you an awful lot, because the 8 second chance attempts that Newcastle had shows you they missed a lot of shots first time around, but they have got some offensive rebounds. The fact they're 1 for 8 on those second chance opportunities means that even though they're getting the offensive rebounds, 8 of them in total, they've only scored once.
Yeah, but then also with that, they're, you know, getting to the free throw line. They're 13 from 15, so with those second chance rebounds, they're putting pressure on the referees to have to make calls.
Nice shovel pass. Austin pinballing his way through the key. Allen's ended up on the floor in a bit of pain there. Whether he got winded. You can see he's just in the wrong spot, I think.
Yep, winded, got hit, and maybe just needs a moment, because that's a strong man, Larry Austin Jr. Absolutely running him over.
May also have been one of those in the lower midriff.
Yeah, that always hurts. Yeah, just let him take a second, and I'm glad to see he's up, and you're just going to have to walk that one off. You can see him in the corner as he heads to the wall.
Well, Larry Austin will go to the free throw line. The worst thing about all of that for Allen is when he gets back up, he's suddenly realized the foul was called on him as well. Austin converts from the free throw line, but he only trims it to a 21-point deficit as far as Newcastle are concerned. Needs some stops to go with the scores. Cook trying to get it to Nichols, has the size over Austin and takes full advantage of it.
Yeah, I like that, just absolutely jumps over Austin Jr. and hits the jump shot. Pretty little thing.
Johnson calling for the screen. Kicks to the corner. No real way through for Whitfield. Here's Taj Green, who had the hand of Nichols flying at him, unable to knock it down. Rotino drops it off too. That's nice.
Beautiful.
Went the opposite way to the screen, but still found the roller.
Beautiful on both ends. They got the defensive stop, and then such poise on the offensive end, and gets an easy bucket. Is just looking wonderful for Sheffield right now.
Confirmation of those numbers I was telling you earlier about Sheffield's points in the paint. Pipkins. Extra pass to Ramsey. Ramsey turns the Jets on, gets to the rim, draws the foul. Bonus free throw coming for Deval Ramsey.
Incredible. And what's so good about it, why that opened up for Ramsey? Why? Because they moved the ball around. They played for each other.
Yeah, it was the touch pass there.
Look at that, yeah.
And Ramsey going to the bucket, but look at this one. You can see it's offered a screen. He goes the opposite way, but the roller still makes his way to the basket, and a nice bounce pass to find him. And, well, the early positivity from Newcastle has dissipated a little bit, and Coach Stutel forced to call a timeout. 55 points to 28 his team trail, and he's got to try and get something going at the offensive end. Friday night this week, the Sky Sports game. Make sure you put that in your diary. The London Lions and the Cheshire Phoenix, who include both the coach and the player of the month in their roster. Can they be the first to knock off the Lions at the Copper Box this week? 7:45 on Friday night on Sky Sports.
Yep.
For that one. And don't forget, you can see all the highlights from all the games in the British Basketball League right here on the YouTube channel. Subscribe so that you don't miss anything, and get the lowdown on what's going on around the league on the Inside the Paint show.
Well, I was going to say Sky Sports has usually been on the Thursday night, but now this time, next week, we're on Friday, and also coverage starts at 7:30 before tip at 7:45. I will have the pleasure of being on that game. It's always a great time being on Sky Sports, but right now we are on your YouTube channel for the British Basketball League. Go ahead and do what you need to do. Hit likes and, appreciate what's going on this weekend. It was a wonderful set of basketball this weekend, hasn't it?
It certainly has. It's not done yet. There's still 2 more games to come after this one. Here's Austin going to work. Too strong off the glass. Sheffield, they're not the best transition teams in terms of points in transition. And you can see they were slowed down into the half court, but they are very efficient when they get here. Here's Nichols with the reverse layup. Doesn't go.
Outlet to Green.
Green. Good work from Ratino to force Whitfield back out. McGill drops it off to Delpesh, goes under the rim, but couldn't get it up and over.
Where's the noise?
Pipkins, short on that one. Well, midway into the third, and Newcastle still looking to see a 3 in the front end of their score. And Green gets them there, up over to 31, but they're still 25 down.
Green needed that. Newcastle struggling still to find consistent scoring.
Newcastle need everything they can get right now. Ramsey directing traffic, shot clock getting low, so he fires up the 3 and he knocks it down. And hands to the face for Coach Stutel. I'm not sure he knows what to do here. There's just nothing coming from his team at the offensive end, and they can't get too many stops defensively either.
Well, it looks like everything's okay with Ramsey's eye with that shot.
McGill to the rim is able to lay it home. First points of the game for Ricky McGill. Ramsey again taking his time, directing where he wants things to go. Forgetting the ball though. He's got to get it up. Oh, scrappy offense there from Sheffield. Whitfield over to Green, who throws it straight to Rotino.
Again, the no-look pass. Kipper gets it back.
Pipkins round the screen.
Pipkins, the floater.
And just floats it in for two.
Pretty basketball by Sheffield.
But a little too easy as far as Newcastle are concerned. Green spinning along the baseline, kicks it out to Austin. Mid-range off the mark, Green trying to tip it home. But the story of Newcastle's day doesn't go. We need to get it across mid-court. It's going to be an 8-second violation. Didn't get it across mid-court. So that will be the violation that stops the game. It is Sheffield Sharks 61, Newcastle Eagles 33. We'll be back after this.
In the corner for the win!
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, just reachable. Your stop height is achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable.
I'm unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out of clock. I fail once they stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. Clock's turn, what you learn, how many years been working for my
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
Well, tough day at the office for Coach Mark Stoutel and his Newcastle Eagles. The thick end of 30 points behind against the Sheffield Sharks here. Sheffield, by the way, haven't beaten Newcastle by 30 plus since 1996. And it's very much in the wheelhouse. It was actually their biggest ever win against Newcastle Comets, they were in January 19. That's going to count. Kipper Nichols too strong, lays it in, and he moves it to 30. 101.55, Newcastle's biggest ever win, Sheffield's biggest ever win at Newcastle.
That's a big finish with Josh Ward-Hibbett as he shrugs it off, and a beautiful smile by him as Josh just holds both hands down, and he's strong enough to able to finish at the rim. Everything going right with Newcastle, like we've said, the Sharks. Newcastle, 3 games in the week. I just really thought they're struggling, and I spoke about this at the top of the show of can they bounce back? Can they be able to have a short-term memory, having 2 L's before this game? And right now, nothing's going right.
Right now, the answer to that is no, isn't it, Azania? They're into the realms of, if this was a 3-quarter game, they'd be quite happy.
Yeah, but if they came out strong and they started seeing the ball go through it, it's the momentum, it's the adrenaline, that would have got them going. But they were down from the rip, and, you know, Sheffield Sharks just kept piling on the pressure.
Well, it's come from all angles from Sheffield. Obviously, first game in the new building, it's a foul called off the ball on Stewart, just knocking Ramsey to the floor. everybody wanted to show out here today, and it's the combination of those two things, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the travel and the games that Newcastle played that you've talked about, but also Sheffield will be pumped up, the adrenaline, the excitement. All of these players in Sheffield shirts want to come out and say, I was the guy that was the superstar on our opening day.
Yeah, and if you're Ramsey, I'm the first guy to score with an and one to start the game. That was a real fun moment for him.
Well, plenty of action still to come today on the British Basketball YouTube channel. They're almost ready to get things underway at the Copper Box. London Lions against Manchester Giants, so you can split screen those two games if you want. And then back with me and Azania at 6 p.m. Plymouth City Patriots against Bristol Flyers. It's 1-0 in the Southwest Derby so far to the Flyers. Can the Patriots get their own back on their own floor? Here's Eitel Rock. Inside to Nichols. Stewart. Shot clock getting low. Off the mark. Well, is there any response from Newcastle? The problem is scoring a point a minute. It's pretty hard to find 30. Darius Defoe will go to the line. Let's say it's been around long enough. Somebody needs to come pick him up.
Right. Somebody needs to help him. He gets into his signature jump shot and gets the foul. Will head to the line. I think Newcastle, when they look back at this week, will be pretty disappointed, but understand what leads, you know, what's coming up for them in the season. Having to play multiple games in a week, they might have to really readjust a few things. Maybe practice time, I don't know, more rest. You have to look at these things that just to find, you know, 1%ers. Why did we play so bad? Why were we so flat in this game? And then, you know, look inside themselves as individuals and as a team.
Well, they've come with a little bit of full court pressure, the Eagles. Sheffield deal with it all right. Adekoya just moves Defoe out of the way.
I like it. Real patience from him, and then take the bump and hit the jumper.
I think that's going to go against Adekoya. 99, the number shown to the table.
That's his second.
Number 2 on Jabril Adekoya. Doesn't look too concerned about it, to be fair.
Doesn't get that one to roll in.
No friendly bounce here at the CMA for Darius Defoe.
I love that you've already given it an, you know, nickname to the arena. Good job. I like that.
Newcastle's the VMA.
Yes. They need to hire you. I like that.
Well, the shot clock is on, but there's almost no difference between it and the game clock, so this will be the final play. Allen will run it down to the buzzer. He's got the switch he wanted, drives in, had to rearrange it. I think somebody got a hand on it, and that'll not count. That's the end of the third quarter, and Sheffield have extended their lead to 30 points, and life is very good. We'll be right back after this break.
Everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain. Anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, you're reachable. Lost of heights, achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable.
I'm unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stock, and we're running out the clock. I fell, what's gonna stop? I'm unbeatable. I'm unbeatable.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
We are basketball.
Team is everything.
We fight till the final moment.
Slow in the corner for the win. Can you believe it?
These are new beginnings. Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie. Oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, and it's playoff champions. I've seen this in 2 decades.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are British basketball.
Welcome back to Sheffield. A lot of happy faces in the crowd and on the bench. Bennett Cook, who really got things going early on. And, well, everybody joined in the party, and that is why Sheffield are so comfortable in this one. And for Newcastle, well, they'd opt for a running clock here. These 10 minutes can't go quick enough, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But, you know, they'll have over a week. As Austin Jr. misses that, they'll have over a week for their next game, but it doesn't get any easier because they go to the London Lions at the Copper Box, the Lions' Den. But that week of rest and recovery, and then maybe just hit the drawing board and see, whoa, where did we go wrong? How can we do better? But I think rest is going to be the big factor for them.
Well, I think you said, where did we go wrong? And then the answer came on screen there with their field goal shooting percentage.
Allen gets it back.
Shot clock needs to go up. Allen has to fire away. He misses everything. Austin gets the rebound before the buzzer so they can run.
McGill steps in.
Johnson in the corner for 3. And the rebounding number skewed really by the fact that Newcastle missed so many shots. That's the answer. I mean, there's 41 rebounds at one end and 24 rebounds at the other, which tells you a lot.
What will also tell you a lot is the character of the Eagles. Can they fight all the way to the end?
Here's Defoe. Just absolutely nothing going for Newcastle today. 9 of 27 in the paint. That's a bad day at the office, as you will well know, and Routinho continues Sheffield's good day at the office.
Yeah, dagger again when Defoe just misses a little bunny, and then they answer back with the 3, and now a steal.
Routinho gives it back.
Michael Rock. Allen round the screen. Here's Routinho again, not this time. Nice little shovel pass to McGill for the layup.
Yeah, probably one of their easiest buckets all afternoon. And but yeah, again, not enough to start chipping away at this. They need to get stops on the defensive end, Newcastle.
Well, I'm pretty sure 36 is Newcastle's lowest ever score, so at least they've got past that. I think it was in the old Sunderland days. Got beat, it was something like 100 to 36. I forget who they were playing. But Routinho joining in with the fun and games on opening day here at the Cannon Medical Arena. Sheffield absolutely rampant.
What I like, what I like about the Sheffield Sharks offense, they have this multiple movement. You know, they're constantly, there's screens, there's players cutting. It's so difficult, and the Eagles are struggling to defend that because they have multiple looks. And then, you know, here they get another offensive rebound. They're doing so well and putting pressure on Newcastle.
Rock gets his own rebound, and they're going to get a third go at it, and this time they do score.
How smart Rock. He knew Taj Green likes to block the shots, has a little head fake, and another timeout is needed.
Well, just trying to find something, absolutely anything, Coach Doodle, to try and get, they're obviously not going to win this game, but trying to get something positive going. You talked about it a few moments ago. In a situation like this, now it's about, well, can we just finish strong and have something on the film that we can watch back and go, well, this bit was okay.
Yeah, and maybe just also your character and your, you know, your core as a team. Are you willing to bounce back? Are you willing to answer and you know, come up against adversity? Or are you gonna be sad puppies and be, you know, upset, head down? Look at everyone's body language right now in this huddle, other than Mark just going absolutely crazy, which he should. But this is the thing, can they bounce back? And right now they're not doing very, very well on either end. They really are getting punched in the face and the gut by the Sheffield Sharks at home.
They've got to just have something, anything, just to get a positive feeling coming out of it. Newcastle's lowest score against Sheffield is 50, by the way. And again, that was 1994 when Sunderland, as they were there, were not very good, and Sheffield were very, very good.
Yep.
So that's the first target. Let's get to 50 so we don't set a club record we don't want.
And you know, Newcastle started the season off hot. They nearly went 3-0. They won against the Sharks, beat Bristol, and then they lost to Cheshire down the end there, and then the Leicester Riders. So they started off hot, but just kind of, you know, simmered down, and now this is a real question of their character and as a team.
Well, one man who has answered that question over many, many, many years in the black and white of Newcastle, Darius Defoe, gets the scoreboard ticking for them. 2004 he made his Newcastle debut.
Played 20 years, and there he goes, all over it on the defensive end as well. He's 38 years old. I like to call that fine wine, Mr. Defoe.
Well, he's a very different player from the 2004 version, who couldn't shoot the ball, but he could dunk over everybody. Now the dunks are slightly less commonplace, but he knows how to shoot the ball, and here he is doing exactly that right on cue.
And this is the answer that they needed. Their vet coming back-to-back buckets.
Here's Rotino. And again, another offensive rebound, and it turned into more second chance points. RJ Eichel rock with the three.
Yeah, and see what happens when they don't get that rebound. Instant offense from the Sharks. They're doing such a good job on the offensive glass. There's the second chance points, 8 from 6.
And I think on one of them they got 2 offensive rebounds, so they still scored off the same play. Larry Austin tipping it home. So they'll probably get to the 50, but there won't be much else to take out of this for the Newcastle Eagles. Here's Adekoya in the low block. Rotino with the cut. The pass gets through Defoe's hands, but the shot clock is low. Step back 3. Back iron.
Larry Austin with the rebound.
Again, Sheffield preventing any threat of a quick move from Austin. Defoe trying to find Ward Hibbert, but Sheffield hands on the ball again.
Wonderful defense from the Sharks. They are all over Newcastle. They're playing so well together, all 5 guys playing.
Idle Rock for 3, and he hits. And Sheffield rampant here.
It's going bad to worse for me. I just think their defense is solid. I can't talk about it enough, and then they go back and shoot a shot in their face.
4:50 to go in this one. Sheffield Sharks lead this by 77 points to 44 off the back of this shot from Idle Rock. And we will take a little break. We'll be right back after this.
You put the work in, everyone knows you deserve it. They must be blind like curtains, certain anything you got, you've earned it. Sky's the limit, just reachable. Your step height is achievable. Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable,
I am unbeatable. Every time they wanna clash, I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out of clock. I fail once then I stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. Clock's turn, watch and learn. How many years been working for my flying over.
Let's take this thing higher, higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher, non-stop. Take it to the top, even when the ball drops. My man.
Welcome back to Sheffield, where the Sharks are in total control. Idle Rock off the bench with double figures. He's got 10. There's only one Newcastle player, by the way, who's got double figures. None of the starters do. Larry Austin might get there now as he puts in, well, he's actually only up to 8. He's missed 10 shots in this game. Idle Rock back to Nichols. Puts it on the floor. It's a little fall away. Nice looking shot, but no points for it. Ward Hibbert off the mark. But Green is able to chase it down. McGill inside to Delpesh, who can't convert.
Who's got the basketball?
He scrambles it out.
McGill.
Batted out, but too far over the head of Austin and out of bounds. Well, the Sheffield Sharks began life at Sheffield Arena. They did have a 30-plus win over the Eagles in that first year, but they never won by 30 against Newcastle in either the EIS or Ponds Forge, and they're looking like doing exactly that on opening day in this shiny new venue that they have that is a venue of their own. And then it's Idle Rock. We said it right at the top of the show how well he's been playing in recent weeks, and he's showing us a little cameo here off the bench.
Yeah, he's playing really well. And, you know, I get to choose the man of the match, and I was looking at Ramsey or Cook, but right now, Idle Rock just giving us straight buckets.
It's a difficult choice today, and it's a difficult choice because Sheffield have got it from everywhere. They haven't relied on one person. As I say, Idle Rock coming off the bench, bang, 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 with his threes, and he started off doing it inside, but then stroking it. And it's great to see a young British player coming into the league first year and just looks like he's been here all the time.
Yeah, and playing with such confidence. He goes up to 13 points now. So Ramsey on 13, Cook on 13, and Aitul Rock with 13 in 14 minutes.
Less than 3 minutes left to play in the ball game.
Kind of like it. Why not?
Well, Newcastle don't really like it. They don't really like much that's happened today. Here's Montgomery getting to the thing. Oh, he blew the layup.
Oh, Montgomery, born and raised from Sheffield. I was hoping he would get on the stat sheet.
Here's Ward Hibbert. Ura stepping his way to the basket. Well, they've got to the 50. That is their lowest ever score against Sheffield. Stewart out to Aitul Rock. Stewart now for three. Into the final 2 minutes of a dominant opening day performance in the new building for Sheffield Sharks. They've taken on their rivals from up the road, and they've given them a sound beating. Don't forget, this is one of 3 games going on today. They're just underway at the Copper Box, where the first 7 points have all gone the way of London. Josh Beck and Graham Hiscox on the call for that one, and you can come back to myself and Azania at 6 p.m. for the Southwest Derby, second installment of that rivalry of the season.
You know what? I think I'm going to give
a shout out to Jack Hunter's TV.
Aitul Rock.
Are you?
Yeah.
Here he is, just on cue.
I think so. Just because he's been solid off the bench. 13 points in 16 minutes, shooting 4 from 5. That's 80%. And, you know, 3 from 3 from the three-point line. That's 100%. I like those stats.
Maybe a little recency bias as well, because he's just done it now. You sure you don't want to change to Kipper as he knocks one down?
No, I'm sticking with it.
Here's Larry Austin to the rim, but to be honest with you, it is hard to pick out a Sheffield player today, because everybody who's stepped on the court has delivered something for them. They knew the magnitude of the day, and they lived up to the billing.
I think so. Everyone has stepped up as they turn over the ball there, but everyone has played to their best.
Well, as I say, I know the likes of Yuri Machita, Rabakovic, and all of the team who work at the Sharks have slogged away at this for a long time to get to this moment, to this day. They can't have imagined the game would be as comfortable as this one has been, playing a quality team.
I don't think so, but what a wonderful performance by the Sharks, opening their new arena.
Oh, everything going in, even that one from Kipper. He wants to get that 30-point win, clearly.
And the crowd love it, yeah.
Fans enjoying the way. I think the shot clock is off. That's a travel. Oh, no, wait, the shot clock shouldn't have been off. I thought for a second, I couldn't hear the whistle for all the noise from the fans, that they were going to just let him dribble it out there. They put the shot clock back on, so Newcastle will have to shoot it. There's Aitul Rock, his player of the game performance, a little cameo off the bench, 13 points. As you say, perfect from the 3.
And he's been playing well. You know, when he had a 20-point game versus Plymouth the other night.
Yeah, it was really good.
He's been solid and just doing his job for this Sharks team. I enjoyed his play, especially off the bench. Well deserved.
Well, Austin loses it. Stewart's out. He won't. The fans wanted him to dunk it, but he says 30 points is enough. It's been thick end of 30 years since Sheffield won by 30 at home to Newcastle, but they've done it to christen their new building. What a result for Atiba Lyons and his Sharks. absolutely dominated this game from opening tip to final buzzer, 86-56, and the reality is the shooting numbers tell you everything about that game.
Yeah, and I just think they imposed their will and their strength from the start. The Sharks looked excellent. They got out of the gates, played very well, put Newcastle on the back foot, and they could just never recover.
Well, the place was packed, and if they get to see this every week, they'll be queuing down the street. By the way, Sheffield have dominated that game. Newcastle, obviously, with their challenges going on at the moment, but this one very much about the Sharks and Atiba Lions and how well his team have played. And there is a lot of pressure on them coming into a game like this to win it, and they won it through very efficient, very Sheffield Shark basketball. Good patient offense and quality defense.
Yeah, and there you see the stats, but I think, you know, they've had to start the season on the road because they've been waiting for this beautiful arena to, you know, open. So for them to start the season 2-3, and then they get this dub, this puts them at 3-3. A great start for them. And now they're at home. Now they can bring the fans in and really get rolling. You know, the start of the season is in the books.
Well, that's the thing. When you look at records of teams, you need to take into account who's played who and where. And obviously, Atiba had the difficult task of knowing that his first 5 games are being on the road. They got a couple of wins. Maybe they could have been 3-2 instead of 2-3, they'll feel. But, you know, they've now got that win. They're 3-3, sitting in 4th spot. They won't feel too bad about that.
No, and you know there's still a lot of basketball to be played, but great win for them. I thought they played fantastic on both ends. The defensive end looked incredible, well-oiled machine, and then the offense was so easy for them. I really enjoyed the Sheffield Sharks this afternoon.
Well, it certainly was. As the Sheffield Sharks, it was a historic day for them. There he is getting the presentation of his match ball, thanks to you, Azena RJ.
Oh, you're welcome.
It really, I can't underestimate how important it is. There's Yuri Matchson, who's worked so hard to get this building here and in reality and off the drawing board, how important it is to get that winning start.
I think it's so important, and it just, you know, just really congratulations for them. Like we said, it's been years in the making, and it's you know, to get the win, it always feels fantastic. But you know, like we said, all the teams all the players played fantastic today. We could have given player of the match to anyone.
Well, an excellent victory for the Sheffield Sharks. They've won by 30 in their new building. We'll be back and see you again very soon.